Hey team, it's the presenter here. How's it going? You see, I just sort of like exploded up from reception. Before we really get into this, I want to thank Capital Training for letting me use their reception area for this video. That's really good of them, and I really do appreciate it. Today we're learning about office equipment and administration processes. The first thing we're going to have a look at is how to meet and greet customers. So let's say that you're a customer who's just come in. Would I greet you like this? I'll help you in a second. I've just got to continue being rude. That's not really the best look, right? You don't want to seem disinterested or impolite. You want to offer a good greeting to customers or visitors in your workplace. So you'd greet them with a smile and you'd say, hey, good morning or good afternoon, depending on what type of day it is, what time of day it is. You'd welcome them in, welcome to my training organization. And you would ask them, how can you help? How can I help you today? So being polite and friendly and welcoming, it gives your customer or your visitor a good first impression of your business or training organization. Now, being on reception and being able to talk to people and answer questions is a very, very important aspect of the job. And it's a skill that takes a little bit of getting used to. It's important to be able to answer questions. So let's say a customer has come in and has asked me, what training can I do here at this training organization? It would be important for me to be able to communicate to that information to the customer or the visitor face to face. And that shows that I know what I'm talking about and it gives them the information they want. Now, let's say they ask something that's really quite specific and I don't know the answer to. I don't really just want to sit there and go, oh, I don't know. Because that's not the best look. You want to know who in your organization might possibly know that information and just refer the question to them. So you'd say something like, well, I don't have that information on me, but what I can do is I can ask Tane or Dave or Sharon, whatever the person's name is. There's plenty of names out there. And then ask them that question and just tell your customer, I can either get back to you or I can get Tane, Dave or Sharon to get in touch with you personally. It's very important to be able to refer to other people in your organization for help sometimes in answering questions instead of just saying, oh, I don't know. Because A, it gives the person the information that they want, and B, it makes you look pretty good too. It makes you look professional. Sometimes you're going to be working away and your phone is going to make a sound. And that sound is going to go something like this. Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Ring, ring. And it'll do that until you pick it up and answer it. Or the person at the other end just gets fed up with you not answering the phone and hangs up. It is important to be able to communicate using the phone. But first off, you want to have a good greeting prepared. You don't just want to answer the phone and say, So, because you're in a professional environment, you know, you don't want the person on the other end of the phone being like, hey, is this your training organization? No, you want to seem professional and you want to give a really nice greeting. You want to say, good morning, this is so-and-so from my training organization. How may I be of help to you today? That greeting on the telephone, it was warm, it was friendly. It introduced who the person was speaking to, that would be you. It introduced the person to the training organization or the business that they're calling, which is good because they may have accidentally called the wrong number. And you asked, how can you help? Which offered the caller a chance to speak and get to the point of what they want. This is a very good way of answering the phone. And if you end up doing an observation in your assessment, which you probably will, I suggest being polite, friendly and helpful. And just like interacting with someone in person, you want to be able to answer questions. You also want to be able to refer to someone else in your organization for help. You also want to be able to transfer a call. Let's say the person from the bank is calling to talk to your boss. A lot of training organizations will have phone systems where you can actually transfer a call to somebody else in the organization. This is a very handy tool, and often on your phone there'll be buttons that say transfer to line 3 or 4 or extension 278, which is pretty choice, I think. Each training organisation will have different phone systems, so your tutor will show you how to do this. Now, let's say that someone from outside of the organisation has called on the telephone wanting to speak with someone who isn't here right now or who is busy in a meeting. You could just say, hey, call back later. Or what you could do is take a message. Taking a message can be pretty helpful on your part because it lets the person know who the call is for. It lets them know who called and why. So what you want to do is you want to take the person's name, maybe get the reason they're calling, who they're calling for, and the time that they called. This information can be used by the person who was busy when the phone call happened. They can use that information to help, to make the phone call and call the person back. Messages are good. Take messages. This is also the case for emails. You're undoubtedly going to get emails from customers or people that just want some information about your training organisation or business. Again, you want to be polite, warm in your emails, informative, and you also want to know when to forward emails to somebody else. Okay? Now, emails are pretty cool. They're a lot different to talking one-on-one or on the phone because you have time to compose your message, to get any relevant information that you need. So emailing is really quite cool. But it does mean that the person who's reading the email, they can't hear your tone of voice, they can't see your body language. If you make a joke, they may not be able to pick up on that because they're not picking up that you're giggling as you're saying that joke. So sometimes you can get mixed messages through emails. Some people may interpret messages differently to others. So just try and be polite, okay? And try and make sure that anything you type can't be misinterpreted. So I would stay away from the humour and the jokes through emails. Sometimes we're going to get sent a nice piece of mail. This piece of mail is addressed to the presenter at Bespoke Resources, 123 Real Street, Wellington. If you're working on a reception or in an office administration type scenario, you're going to want to know what to do with mail, because you're going to get some very important mail and some mail that's not as important, and it's going to be addressed to different people within your organisation. When you're dealing with inward mail, mail coming in, what you want to do is you want to just get that mail to whoever it needs to go. A lot of organisations will have cubby holes of all the different staff members, and you just pop their mail into their cubby hole so they can collect it whenever they want throughout the day. If it's marked urgent, you can just flick that person an email saying, hey, you've got an urgent piece of mail here, come pick it up, or I can come and drop it off to you. If it's marked confidential, don't read it. Okay, it's private information. So, don't be nosy. Essentially, make sure that no one else looks at it except for the person that it's addressed to. If you've got some mail that your organisation wants to send out, a good way of doing this is collect all that mail, and at the end of the day, just go for a walk down to the post office and post it. If, however, a bit of mail comes in that says urgent and it needs to be sent out right away, I would just go and take that bit of mail down right away, because more often than not it is going to be critically important to get that out. Now, sometimes you're going to get mail from one person in the organisation getting sent to another person within the organisation. This is called internal mail. Now what you can do is treat that the same way as a bit of incoming mail, and just put the envelope into the person's cubby hole or their tray or whatever system that your training organisation has. Or you can email the person that the piece of mail is to and say, hey, I've got this bit of mail from you here, or for you here. Just come and pick it up whenever you want, or I can just walk 20 feet to your desk and give it to you. So mail handling, it is very important to get it done right, but lucky for us, it's fairly straightforward stuff, and as long as you've got good common sense, you'll be fine. Security of information is critically important. There's a lot of information that your training organisation or your business deals with that you don't want people from outside of the company to be able to use. A lot of information these days is digital, so it's all on the computer, backed up in servers and up in the cloud. It's a bit of an urban myth that the cloud is actually above us. The cloud is just a big array of servers located all around the world. But I like to look up when I talk about the digital cloud, because I like to imagine that it is the clouds. Anyway, one of the most important security barriers that you can place on your digital information is a good password. So locking your computer so that people have to log in when they want to use it. This computer here is locked. I don't know the password. That means I can't get into the information that is locked in this computer. the information in here is secure. So when you're working in a reception or an office administration space, use things like, good passwords on your computer, just to keep your information safe and secure. If your information, your data, isn't digital, what you can do is put your information into a secure location like a big filing cabinet with a lock on it. And if you keep that key on you, people aren't going to be able to get into the files in that filing cabinet. Again, your information, your data is secure. It's not just your information that you want to keep secure in your training organization or wherever you're working, on reception or in an office admin type scenario. You also want to keep your resources safe. The stuff that's actually in the building. Your pens, your computers, your printers, your fax machines, your shredders, everything that's physically in the building, you want to keep that safe. You also want to keep the environment safe. So the surrounding area, your offices, you want to keep that all safe, as well as the staff and visitors that come in and use the space. Now, in order to keep your resources safe, all you need is a good lock on your door and an alarm so that you can secure the premises at night or during the weekends. And if your alarm is connected to a security agency, as soon as that alarm gets triggered, they will come out to the premises just to check that nothing untoward is going on. There's no baddies trying to steal your pens or your reams of paper. You can also have video cameras, and this can ensure the security of your visitors, because if something happens, you're able to look at the video cameras and pinpoint what happened, and they can also act as a deterrent. Another thing that you can use is a good old-fashioned sign-in sheet. A good old-fashioned sign-in sheet allows you to know exactly who is on the premises and when. So in the event of a fire or an earthquake, you'll be able to grab your sign-in sheet, and when you're in a safe area, if you've been evacuated and you're meeting down at an assembly point downstairs or outside, you'll be able to just check off everybody who's there to make sure that you have everyone that was in the premises. That's a really handy way and a responsible way of ensuring the safety of your visitors. And with the safety of your premises, again, you've got locks on your doors, you've got alarm systems. That will make sure that your area is safe and secure when nobody's around. It is your responsibility to help maintain a healthy and safe working environment, alright? So, in order to do this, you need to be up to date on health and safety regulations. So, you just want to make sure that there are no real hazards around the workplace, okay? There's no broken glass anywhere. There's no cords that people can trip up on the floor. All of the office furniture, the desks, the chairs, they're all ergonomically sound. You also want to know where your closest first aid kit is. So if an accident does happen, you'll be able to make sure that whoever is injured is able to receive some first aid, and if it's serious, you'll be able to stabilize them until help is here. It's also very important to know what to do in case of an emergency. So You need to know where your evacuation points are in case of a fire. You need to know where your strong tables are in case of an earthquake and direct people to like just duck under them. You need to know that in an earthquake, after the first quake has happened, you just want to make sure that it's safe before you all exit the building, because there are aftershocks. And you want to know all of the emergency numbers that you might need. So civil defence, you want to know the number for 111, which coincidentally is 111. So make sure that you're up to date with health and safety standards. Stationery and other resources are amazingly handy, alright? I love having a fistful of pens. But what if I ran out of pens? Or staplers? Or staples? Paper clips? What if I wanted to print something that was highly important and there was no paper left to put in the printer? Or ink? What happens if there is no sellotape? I can't imagine a world where I've run out of sellotape in my working environment. It is very important to keep on top of, your resources. You want to make sure that you've got enough for everybody in your work area. And it's going to be your responsibility to make sure that everybody has enough resources, and that if you are about to run out or have run out, that you order some more. Honestly, this isn't difficult. You can either just go down to like a stationery warehouse or a big shop that sells stationery supplies, get some more pens, get some more staples, or you can go onto a website, order some more, get them delivered. Just make sure that you keep on top of the resources that are needed in your training organisation or work area. I guess it's time to have a look at the use of some of the equipment within a reception area in an office space. This is going to be cool. First piece of equipment we're going to look at is the telephone. We've already gone through how to answer the phone, but if we want to make a phone call, we just press the numbers in the sequence that is required. This is obviously a telephone number, and we hit talk. Or you might have like a little green picture of a phone or something that says go. It all does the same thing. And to hang up, you press end. Or it'll be a picture of a little red telephone with a line through it or something like that. Telephones are nice and easy to use. Alright, now let's have a look at this beast. This is the printer that I use. It's also a scanner and a copier. It's quite awesome, this thing. A lot of training organisations have this or something like this, which acts as a printer and a scanner and a copier. Some training organisations have those three things separately. I'm going to show you how to use this one. So first, you got to log in. I've got my login little card in my wallet, so every time I go to use the printer it looks pretty cool. Alright, now to scan, what I do is I open up the top, place my document inside, and if I want to scan it, I just hit the scan button. If I can get the camera coming in, we focused. Yeah, we're focused. From here, I hit scan and just pick a name out of the hat. Now, to get back to the menu, if I wanted to copy it, I hit copy, And from here I go through all of my options. So do I want the color just black and white, or would I like it full color? What sort of paper? Do I want it A3 sized, A4? You can choose the paper size, that's quite cool. You can also choose whether it's zoom. Do I want it one-sided, or would I like two-sided documents? Would I like to turn a document that's originally two sides into a one-sided document, or a document that's originally just one-sided into a two-sided document? These are all options that I can pick. That's quite handy. Alright, what you can do is you can actually select which tray you want to print from. So you can see over here we've got 4 trays in this printer, photocopier, scanner, faxer machine. So we can choose from tray 1, you can see it highlighted yellow there, tray 2, tray 4, or tray 3, which hasn't got any paper. So let's say I want to use tray 3. What I'm going to have to do is replenish the paper. So what we do is we get our paper, we find the tray that's out of paper, open it up, place the paper back in, close the tray, and it's good to go. Alright, I'm going to use the automatic document feeder. This is this part up the top here, and I'm going to use that to copy my document, and I'm actually going to make a number of copies. So my favorite number at this moment is 4. 4 sets of the document, hit start. But what I'm going to do is get the camera person to sort of step back and zoom out a bit so we can see this bit of paper. Are we in focus? Are we focusing? Yeah, we're focused. So I hit start, we see the paper disappear and pop back out down here, and our printed copies are going to come out the bottom here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Well, it's quite warm. Be careful of the paper that comes out, she's a little warm. And that's how you use the automatic document feeder and how you can make copies. Pretty handy stuff. Another important piece of equipment you may come across is the shredder. Now, I'm not talking about the bad dude from a very popular 1990s TV show about turtles who are also ninjas. I'm talking about the piece of office equipment that if you've got a piece of paper that you don't want, and you don't want to just throw it away in the bin, you actually want to destroy it. Maybe it's confidential, you don't want this information getting out, you just want destroyed. You just pop it in. And it shreds it. There's no getting that bit of paper back. This here is a laminator. Alright, let's say you've got an important document and you want to keep it safe, okay? You're a bit of a fiend for eating tomato soups while you're working on documents, and you've destroyed one too many documents and you just want to protect everything else. Or let's say you've been awarded a certificate, you want to keep it safe, put it on the wall, make sure it doesn't get damaged. The bit of equipment that you want to use is a laminator. So the idea is you get a plastic sheet, okay, and you can buy specific, specially made laminating sheets that you open up and you pop your document into it. Right? Now this is going to form your protective barrier protecting your document. And what you do is you heat up the laminator first, you feed it in the front, and it comes out the back like it's been heated, and so the paper actually gets trapped in the plastic, and the plastic protects your document. So it's never going to get smudged or dirty or covered in tomato soup ever again. Your document is safe theoretically for a long time. Like, I imagine a piece of paper that's got laminated plastic over it could survive decades. Yeah, that's quite neat. I could draw a nice stick figure. Generations of presenters, years down the line, will be able to look at it. That's really cool. I might just go do that. Alright team, and that's it. Those are all the skills that we need. That was greeting, dealing with customers and visitors face to face and over the phone, via email. We learned how to handle mail, maintain security, use office equipment, order extra supplies, and we learned how to use the photocopier in detail. So that's it from me, the presenter. You guys have a fantastic day and good luck with your assessment. Presenter out.